The head of the U.S. Strategic Command, General Anthony J. Cotton, has said that Iran can produce a nuclear weapon in a span of a week. And due to its work on space launch vehicles, Tehran can even reduce the timeline to produce an intercontinental ballistic missile. The U.S. general made these statements during a hearing of the Senate Armed Services Committee in Washington, D.C. And General Cotton has said that the Islamic Republic of Iran continues to expand its nuclear program by increasing its stockpile of highly enriched uranium and deploying additional advanced centrifuges. He further said that Tehran has reduced the time required to produce sufficient weapons-grade uranium for a nuclear device from 10 to perhaps 15 days to presumably less than 1 week. He said that Iran possesses the region's largest arsenal of conventional ballistic missiles, which it has employed in attacks on Israel last year. The U.S. general further said that Tehran continues to proliferate advanced conventional weapons to non-state militia groups across West Asia, resulting in attacks against the United States and the State of Israel. General Cotton also said that Iran's work on space launch vehicles, including its two-stage liquid-fueled Simorgh satellite carrier rocket, likely shortens the timeline to produce an ICBM to the similarities in technology. He said that this rocket could have nearly 4,000 kilometers of range with a capacity to carry 1,000 kilograms of payload. He's also warned that the ties developing between Iran and Russia and North Korea pose a big threat to the United States.
A little different nuance. That is the new relationship that we're seeing that's happening between Russia and the DPRK. So we're talking about DPRK, we're talking about Iran, we're talking about China, as well as the Russian Federation. That's why I call them the third-party influencers, because what they could do is they could be a distraction for the main effort that could be, that could be launched by any one of those that we had mentioned.
Now, General Cotton's statement has come amidst the United States intensifying its campaign against the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, after announcing a military offensive against them on the 15th of March, and President Donald Trump was issued a strong warning against Iran, saying that shots fired by the Houthis will be looked upon as a shot fired by Iran. A day ago, the American Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, during her Senate Intelligence Committee hearing, had said that Iran at this moment is not actively pursuing a nuclear weapon. But the American intelligence community has assessed that the discussion of nuclearization has increased inside the Iranian government. Now, she's further said that Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without any nuclear weapons.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
Now, all this while Iran has released a video of its Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, General Mohammad Bagheri, and the IRGC Aerospace Force Commander Amir Ali Hajizadeh visiting what the Iranian media is calling an underground missile city. The two officials boarded a vehicle that toured the underground complex, passing by rows of parked vehicles carrying various ballistic missiles. An Iranian flag and also the IRGC logo were displayed on the lead vehicle in a convoy carrying weapons. All right, now to give us more insights into this, we are joined in this broadcast by Mr. Reza Hatami, who's a political commentator. Mr. Hatami, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. And let me in fact start off by asking you this. This is what the head of the U.S. Strategic Command, General Anthony Cotton, is claiming, that Iran can produce a nuclear weapon in a span of weeks. And due to its work on space launch vehicles, Tehran can also reduce the timeline to produce an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, this is the kind of rhetoric that we've heard a lot by the Americans in the past. How does Iran, respond to this statement, which is made repeatedly by the Americans, that Iran is very close to making a nuclear weapon?
Yeah, thanks for having me. In the introduction, you also mentioned that the chief of U.S. intelligence has said that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. This is something that Iran has said for the past 2 decades or so. Iran has long maintained that it is not pursuing a nuclear weapon. Iran also mentions a religious edict or fatwa by Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the final say over all key state issues, that stockpiling and producing nuclear weapons is religiously forbidden. So this is the Iranian stance for the past 2 decades, and Iran says that it maintains this position as of now. And at the moment, Iran is a member of the NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and also has close cooperation with the IAEA, the UN nuclear watchdog. So all indications point to this fact that Iran is not pursuing a nuclear weapons, at the moment. And yes, Iran is enriching uranium at high levels. It has stockpiled a high amount of uranium. It is now enriching uranium to up to 60%. But Iran says this is in retaliation for US sanctions, for Western sanctions. And at the same time, it says that it needs this enriched uranium only for peaceful purposes. So Iranian stance has not changed as of yet.
All right.
But we have heard comments from Iranian officials that if Western countries apply a snapback mechanism within the JCPOA, the 2015 nuclear deal, then Iran could potentially revise its nuclear doctrine.
Interesting. Now, you mentioned about the religious edict that has been given by Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, forbidding Iran from developing nuclear weapons, on the premise that nuclear weapons, of course, result in indiscriminate killing. So there is a fatwa which bans effectively Iran developing its own nuclear weapons. But looking as to how things have evolved in West Asia, the war on the Gaza Strip, and also the American campaign of bombing the Houthis, a lot of people, in fact, say that what is happening at this moment is probably a push to try and draw Iran into a much larger regional war. And this could push the Iranians to relook at their nuclear doctrine and may push the Iranians to develop a nuclear weapon. Do you think that's a possibility that could happen?
Well, at the moment, the united stance by Iran is that it will not pursue a nuclear weapon. This is as of now. But as I was saying, there is talk that Iran could potentially, then this is not for certain, could potentially revise its nuclear doctrine if a snapback mechanism within the JCPOA, this is the 2015 nuclear deal that expires in October, if Western countries try to ignite the trigger that mechanism and reinstate all UN sanctions on Iran, then Iran could potentially revise its position. Also, if Israel or the United States or both of them attack Iran's nuclear facilities, then this is up for discussion for Iran, for considering that whether to revise its nuclear doctrine or not. But at the moment, Iran sticks to its long-held position that it will not pursue a nuclear weapon.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us with that perspective. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.